July 12, 2014, in a burial plot purchased for his burial next to his late parents, who both always believed that someday his body would be recovered.
Welcome to this special edition of City Pulse. We're here today at Kofer Fessler May Funeral Home for the homecoming of Howard Martin. We're here with Corey, Stan, and of course Ron. Gentlemen, can you kind of give us an overview of exactly what happened today? What the point of it is, what this young man did?
Sure. Several months ago, we were contacted by the Martin family, and we were informed that there had been information provided to them that one of their family members, who was actually in an accident in 1952, his remains had been found on the Air Glacier in Alaska as a result of some melting, and there was some reconnaissance missions there, and they started to find debris from the accident, and Howard Martin's remains were among the debris that was found there and the remains. So the family has known this for quite a while, and so they notified me from a standpoint of they wanted to provide some type of honor and a homecoming for him and a funeral service. And of course, we were just glad to be a part of that, and we're willing to do anything that they wanted to do. So over the last several months, we've spent lots of time with the family, meeting with them, seeing what their wish was, and in the proper way here to honor Airman Martin. And so what has happened today obviously has been a fantastic turnout from the community of Elwood. The family is just absolutely in shock. The turnout and the people that have lined the streets, the VFW's involvement, the American Legion's involvement, the city's involvement, Mayor Arnold making a proclamation. They are just really emotionally taken back by everything that's happened today. So we did process from the Indianapolis airport today with the Indiana Rolling Thunder and the Indiana Patriot Guard, and they said this is one of the largest processions that they have had. Our weather, we will give Stan maybe the credit for that. Maybe he prayed in the good weather. In good weather, you have more motorcycles show up. In bad weather, not so many. So they would have done this today in rain or shine, but obviously with the beautiful weather, we had a very, very large turnout. They just told me we had in excess of 80 motorcycles in the procession today. So really just an awesome turnout and quite a tribute to Airman Martin.
Now, Ron, you had a speech and you did a proclamation. Can you describe what that was?
I had the honor of making a mayoral proclamation today in honor of Howard Martin, and proclaimed today, July the 10th, as Airman Martin Remembrance Day, and I was quite honored to be a part of it. Corey approached me and wanted the city be involved and assist him with everything that he's undertaken in this honoring of Airman Martin, and gratefully agreed. And it has been a humbling, exciting day. I was talking with Stan Alley, he's our city chaplain and a local pastor and a veteran, and fought in Vietnam, and we were talking about how rare this is that any MIA comes home, and especially to Elwood, killed in the line of duty, and a real hero, and a native son of Elwood. And so I'm grateful to Corey and everything that he arranged. Really, Corey has done all the work, arranging everything with the airport, and
there's been a lot of hands involved. It's just been amazing how everybody has stepped up, and Everybody we called for assistance that absolutely were there. You know,
We were
nobody-
commenting coming through Noblesville on 37, Highway 37, that you had Noblesville Police, you had Hamilton County Police, you had Indiana State Police, you had our local Elwood Police, and they had every intersection closed and blocked along Highway 37. That's no easy feat.
Wow.
And then to have the news copter follow us from the airport out, and I got to see just a little bit of that. They were streaming live, and so we were looking on our phones coming back. But what a sight! We got to see some of it as we circled around off the ramps.
And then we had EMA here blocking the roads to make sure there's no. It was amazing. I was proud of my community.
Absolutely.
Stan and I had a reporter come up to us and say, are you surprised at the turnout? And I said, no,
Not really.
this is what I talk about when I say this community is a great community. The people are good, and we're interlocked, we're interconnected. We've either grown up with, related to.
Everybody's friends, or they know a friend. And so this is such a tight-knit community. When one person's hurting, the rest of us are hurting. And it takes a village to raise a child, and we're seeing that today.
Well, and to see the veterans along the roadways as we came in, waving the flags, and it was exciting and humbling all at the same time. So it's a great day for our city, and one that, as you came to me and talked about what you had hoped this would be, I think it's exceeded anything I thought.
Exceeded my expectation, and I know it's exceeded the family's expectation.
It did, and I was honored to participate. And the mayor and I was talking earlier, like he said, and we both came to the same conclusion. His mom and dad bought that plot out there in the cemetery for the day when he was able to come home. You talk about faith. That is faith.
Yes.
And those family members will tear up to this day talking about that, how that grave has been waiting for their brother.
60 years.
It touches everyone.
Oh, to meet his brothers and sisters.
They're all wonderful people.
Oh, my
Just
goodness,
fantastic
They were all
family.
here
They're all still
today?
living. They're all here except for one. One is having some health issues today. He's having a struggle and could not be with us today.
And one of them works out here at Dollar Market, and she is a wonderful lady.
They're
Wow.
wonderful people, and it's
And one of their children run around with my son. We all rode motorcycles together. So that's where the city people, we all intertwine. And that's why I say when one's hurting, the others are hurting too. And we have to be there for one another.
Now, these festivities aren't over with yet.
No, this is just the homecoming today. That's what I was talking with some of the news media out there. They said, now, you're doing a lot more on Saturday. Well, we are having, obviously, a funeral service for him, for Airman Martin.
Now, is it just for the family, or are
No, it's
the
open to
public?
the public. We think a lot of the public might go to the cemetery to witness the military honors. And as I've shared with Ron, the military views this death as a full-service active military death, because Airman Martin obviously was fully enlisted and was in active service when that plane went down. So Scott Air Force Base has been in communication with us, and they will be sending a 23-officer team to perform the military honors, which is quite rare. I know from a funeral director's standpoint, that's almost unheard of, that they would send that many personnel for one service. So we will have, obviously, military pallbearers. We'll have a live bugler. They're sending their own rifle team. They're also sending officers to present flags to each family member at the cemetery, so that the main flag that is on the casket will go to the family, but each family member, each sibling will receive their own flag from the military. So it's very, they are definitely doing this on a very high level. And it's been very impressive. The cooperation between our funeral home and the military and the community has just been absolutely flawless.
Well, I
It's
know
good.
Saturday, I have the honor of doing prayer there, and they said that there is over, 40 or more different varieties of Jeeps, even a 5.5 ton from up at
They'll be here on
For
Saturday.
the funeral procession?
Yeah.
So Saturday, the family will meet here at the funeral home in the morning for private time.
Okay.
And then that's going to be kind of a tender time for them, a time for them to stay together as a family and just be with their brother privately without any public, and that's going to be a special time. There will be public visitation for people who know the family and want to come and pay their respects. from 11 to 1, and then funeral services for Airman Martin will begin at 1 p.m. here at the funeral home. And Mayor Ron Arnold will be speaking, in addition to Pastor Gary Cable from Anderson First Church of the Nazarene, and Skip Whitenack will be speaking as well on behalf of the Elwood VFW, and actually he's a district commander now with the VFW. So it's going to be a very nice tribute. The Jeep Brigade is planning to line the area around the cemetery with vintage and veteran Jeeps, and that's going to be very impressive. And again, they have come to us. We have not contacted any of these people. They've all come, called us and said, hey, we want to do this. And he's now talking maybe 50 to 60 Jeeps with flags and things. And the VFW will be involved, the Elwood American Legion will be involved, and obviously lots of veterans and officers from our community here. So.
And then is the funeral procession, once the funeral service is over with,
Right.
then the funeral procession will be going where?
We will be going to the Elwood City Cemetery, and we will leave here and go south on Anderson Street to G Street. We'll turn on G Street and go west toward the cemetery. There will be Jeeps lining G Street on the left-hand side. There'll be an area, we'll actually be escorted by the Indiana Patriot Guard, who will have their flag ceremony in front of the funeral home here on the day of the service. They stand guard in front of the funeral home, which in itself is very impressive.
Yes,
we actually had that a while
Yes.
back here, and it brings everybody to a screeching halt when they're coming down the road. It's very
Yes,
impressive
yes,
to
it
see all
is.
those American flags lining the street there. So
Kudos to John Petro. With
oh,
the
absolutely.
Patriot
Yeah,
Guard.
it's kind of nice to have a local connection on these things, and so it's going to be quite a service on Saturday. And I told the family to get lots of rest tomorrow because they have a big day on Saturday too. So
Saturday will be busy.
absolutely.
And please plan to come visit at Cofer Fessler May Funeral Home from 11 to 1. Or if you don't want to be part of the funeral service or the public viewing, please join us at the Elwood City Cemetery because that'll be
impressive, and we think there are
Very
people
impressive.
who you might want to take their children out and say, hey, look at this. This is what our U.S. military does for a fallen veteran, and we have a fallen veteran here from over 60 years ago that they stepped up to do this for.
I was talking with a young lady that went down with us to take some pictures and help us, and the officer that I was riding with, saying, our country's unique in the way that we honor life. There's no country like the United States of America that honors life, and especially those who lay their lives down for freedom. And it's just, it was just impressive from the airport all the way home today, just to see folks in other communities have that same. It's part of our
stepping out of
DNA.
their cars, and saluting. It's impressive.
Yes,
it says a lot about our
There was
state.
people
Yeah.
Oh,
getting out of
absolutely.
vehicles.
Yeah, a lot of people at intersections. We saw ladies even that got out of their cars and had their hand on their heart. And
Yes.
boy, that touches anyone.
Yes, it
I
does.
think that.
My wife asked me this morning, she says, which hat are you going to wear? And I asked her, what are you talking about? She said, well, you belong to the American Legion, you're a chaplain, and you're city chaplain, and you're a veteran, so where are you going to be? And I ride a motorcycle too. And I told her, well, number one, I'm a vet, and most people that know me realize that, but I am city chaplain. So in order to represent my country and my city and my fellow vets, I decided I had to show up.
You wear the shirt and wear the vet hat, and then you got them all in one.
Yeah.
We're
And
on-
ride my motorcycle.
There you go.
We're honored to
Stan
wear
has all
those
his
hats.
bases.
But I am very proud of my city, and that goes back to my childhood. I've always come back home. This is home. And
I
I'm
was
so
very
proud
impressed.
of everything.
Very impressed of the streets today. As I was taking pictures, you could see them all the way down to J Street, just lined up on both sides of the road.
I
It's
think
absolutely
it's
amazing.
more people standing out than we would have for a normal parade of any kind.
I thought the
and
same
several
thing.
people comment on
I
that.
thought it was bigger than any parade that we do.
Well, like the mayor, there was a
Inappropriate,
couple of
so.
times I teared up.
You can't help but do that.
No, it's
Several of the news media mentioned to me how they have not seen this in other communities. They just thought this was unbelievable how much our community stepped up, and that's exactly what we wanted. That was our goal, was to spotlight our community, the people of our community, and obviously the respect we have for Airman Martin.
Well, I think this beautiful portrait that you had done
Turned out great.
for the family.
This is
This is
Mr.
a real
Martin.
person. This is not just some holiday or something. This is a man who gave his life in to our country. And so this portrait helps remind us that it's real. And I think as I was getting through that proclamation, I made the mistake and looked up and connected with eye contact with folks, and the words became real. Not that they weren't heartfelt, but they became very real as I looked out and at the family. This is their brother, and so
It was very
It is
heartwarming today to be a part and a witness to this.
Kind of something interesting, when we first started talking to the family, I asked them, was there any funeral service back in 1952 when this happened? And they said no, it was just a different time. They had a large family. Mom and dad had to go on. Work had to continue. Kids had to be raised and fed, and they kind of moved on. But I think in each one of their hearts, this has always been kind of held back in a special place. So I think that's all coming out now, just as if it had happened last week.
yes.
And that's what, and that's so neat about the community stepping up and showing our respect and our gratitude, because we were right there with the family.
That's why I say God bless America, because when they all come out like that, and just talking with different people, you could tell they were speaking from their hearts, just the way they felt.
Right, absolutely.
Well, there's just a couple of folks, and again, Corey, you've done a tremendous job orchestrating.
And we've had a lot of help.
Goodness, but David Kane, local native son, again, we're so blessed with folks who are from Elwood, but David Kane with Homeland Security, Chris Noon, local
Bill Smith
native
made some
son,
contacts for us.
Bill Smith, that was formerly with the governor's office. Chris is with the state police. Our own Elwood Police Department did a tremendous job orchestrating and following down.
Fire department with the area.
Fire department did a tremendous job.
One of the
with that
brothers
area.
mentioned that was when it got him right there, when he saw the fire truck and the flag and knew we were going underneath that. So we appreciate the fire department's involvement as well.
So again, these are all the blessings to living in a small community like Elwood, and a proud day and
Very humbling day.
very humbling, very humbling. But please plan to join us in either or both of the ceremonies on Saturday.
Saturday, July 12th. You said that the public can come
They
around.
can come to the service at 1, or if they want to be more in a casual environment, they're welcome to go to the cemetery. And if they want to gather there a little before 2, there will be a public viewing area there. And for any of you who have not seen full military honors, I have been fortunate enough to see that on a couple occasions. It is quite impressive.
It is extremely
They are
impressive.
very
One you're
very
not
well
likely to
orchestrated.
see again in
something
your
you
lifetime.
just don't see very often, even from a funeral director standpoint. You don't see that large of a team being
Yeah,
sent
not on
to
that
do
scale.
to do honors. So there will be a viewing area there at the cemetery between the mausoleum and the gravesite, and we're actually going to take the banner there that welcomes Airman Martin home, and we're going to actually use that as kind of our area to mark off that area. And the public will be right there to welcome him home into the grave that his mom and dad had for him for 62 years.
So it's been sitting empty for 62 years
62
waiting for
years,
him.
right. You bet.
Wow.
People of faith.
Absolutely
People of
amazing.
faith, you bet. You bet, absolutely.
Well, I hope this has touched a special place in your heart and you will join us Saturday. And I want to thank you for watching this edition of City Pulse.